Today I will be building famous people in Lego. If you do go on to enjoy this video, then make sure to smash that like button as well as subscribe and turn on notifications. But with that being said, everyone, let's go. Alright, first off, let's do Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock. This guy is arguably one of the most famous people on the planet, and he pretty much appears everywhere nowadays. So I decided to recreate him first. So in order to do this, I decided to use this black torso and take the arms off and replace them with these darker tan arms. And then I also decided to use these dual molded legs as well, and then attach that to the torso, of course. And then for the head, I ended up using the clone trooper head. And then I also decided to make Kevin Hart as well, because they are a pretty iconic duo together, and there's no Rock without the Hart. So I decided to make Kevin Hart to go along with Dwayne. So here is my Kevin Hart minifigure. So in order to make this, I decided to use the torso and legs from the Harry Potter minifigure that came in the clock tower, as well as the head and the hair from the Black Panther figure. And overall, I think it looks quite good, and they both do look quite nice together as the iconic duo. Alright, next we have Captain Jack Sparrow, who's played by the one and only Johnny Depp. Now, I wanted to recreate Johnny Depp of how he looked during the trials versus Amber Heard. And during those trials, he had a ponytail as well as a suit. So I decided to go for that look for the character. So in order to recreate Johnny Depp, I decided to give him this suit, and then I also gave him the head from Tony Stark, as well as this ponytail hairpiece as well, which I think looks quite good on him, of course. And then I also decided to make for his accessory Amber Heard as well. And for her, I just gave her a suit because that's what she usually wears in the trials. And then I gave her the Captain Carter face, as well as the blonde hair as well. And overall, I think these two actually look quite good. Okay, so we have some more actors, and those are Morgan Freeman. And then I also decided to make Sylvester Stallone as well. I gave him the clone trooper headpiece, as well as his hair. I'm pretty impressed with how it turned out overall. And then I also decided to make Ryan Reynolds. Not that Ryan Reynolds. This Ryan Reynolds, where I gave him a blue suit, and then I also gave him this headpiece as well. And then on top of that, I gave him this hairpiece, which overall I think looks quite good and captures him quite well in my opinion. And then I also decided to make Shah Rukh as well, one of the most popular Bollywood actors today. And for him, I ended up giving him the same suit. And then I also gave him this headpiece as well as this hair from Han Solo. Pretty impressed with how that turned out. And then I also decided to make Jim Carrey as well as John Cena. Alright, now let's talk about sports players. So I'll be making some of the most popular sports people in history and the most famous ones as well. So with that being said, everyone, let's dive right into it. Alright, first off, I decided to make Shaquille O'Neal in minifig form since he is such a big guy. In order to do this, I used this purple torso and then attached some of these brown arms to it. And then also used some of these purple legs, and then I also used the face from Moff Gideon. And overall, I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. I think it looks quite accurate. Then I also decided to make Michael Jordan along with him as well. I gave him this red torso from The Flash, as well as these brown arms, the red legs, and then for his face, I ended up giving him the face from War Machine, which I think captures his facial features quite well in my opinion. Alright, next up we have Messi. So I decided to use these dual molded legs from the Lego Batman movie, as well as the torso from the Chef minifigure from the Looney Tunes CMF. I switched the arms out, and then I used the face from the Bucky Barnes minifigure from the CMF, as well as this spiky hair, which is quite common. And then I also decided to make Ronaldo to go along with him, so I ended up using these dual molded black and white legs. And then I also decided to use this red torso, and then I used this face as well as the black hair as well, which is quite common. And then along with them, I made the fastest runner alive, and that is Usain Bolt. So I gave him a yellow torso, as well as these legs, which came from the Star-Lord T'Challa minifigure from the Marvel CMF. And then I also gave him that face as well, and the hair, which are both quite common. And then I also decided to make a cricket player as well. So I made MS Dhoni from the Indian cricket team. I decided to give him a plain blue torso and legs, as well as this face, which appeared in the Hogsmeade Village set, as well as this black hairpiece as well, which is quite common to find. And then I also decided to make Pele as well, who did sadly pass away very recently. And this is a nice tribute to him, in my opinion. Alright, next up we're going to be doing famous YouTubers as well as streamers. So I decided to start off with Mr. Beast because he is one of the most popular YouTubers to ever exist. So let's get into it. So in order to make Mr. Beast, I used these grey legs as well as this plain blue torso. And then I also gave him the head from Star-Lord, as well as this brown hair as well, which is quite common to find. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And then next to him, I decided to do Pewdipie as well. I ended up using the face and the hair from the Thor minifigure from Infinity War, mainly because I just thought it was the most accurate thing I had. Then I also did Simon from the Sidemen, as well as KSI as well. And then I ended up using a bandana for him as well to represent the top of his head, mainly because his hair was quite hard to recreate with all my Lego parts. I didn't have the right pieces. Then I also decided to do Ninja as well. Now let's do famous musicians. So first off, I decided to do the guy who's never going to give you up or let you down, and that is the one and only Rukh Astley. Now I wanted to recreate his appearance in the song, so I decided to use this brown torso which came from one of the Muppets minifigures for the brown suit. Then I also decided to use these light tan legs as well for his trousers, and then for the face I ended up using the face from Cedric Diggory, which is quite common, as well as this hairpiece which came from Captain America. And then I also give him a microphone as well so he can rickroll everyone who doesn't subscribe. So please subscribe. And then next up, I decided to make Elvis Presley, so I gave him these black legs as well as a torso from the Knight Rider minifigure and the head and hair from one of the minifigures from the Central Perk set. And then I also gave him a guitar to rock and roll with. And then next up, I made Michael Jackson. Now I wanted to recreate him from the Thriller song, so I gave him the red legs as well as this red torso, and I also gave him this face as well, and then I also gave him this hair, which overall, you know, I think looks quite good. It is a pretty common hairpiece. It did come with the Harry Potter minifigure from the Goblet of Fire, and then I also gave him this hat as well to recreate some certain scenes, and then I also gave him a little pose as well, which overall I think looks quite good in my opinion. And then I also made Harry Styles as well as John Williams, the legendary music composer. Then I gave him the wand as well so he can compose some music. And then I also made Hans Zimmer as well. He was also a really good music composer. And for our last minifigures, we have Stan Lee, one of the founders of Marvel. Now, LEGO have never recreated him as a LEGO minifigure. However, we know that they actually have a concept of him because he did appear in the LEGO Marvel Superheroes and the LEGO Marvel Avengers game as a playable character. However, LEGO have never decided to actually recreate him as a physical minifigure in any of the LEGO Marvel sets, which I think is really depressing. So I decided to try and recreate that Stan Lee minifigure as close as possible to the one that is actually in the games. So let's get into it. So I decided to use these brown legs, of course, as well as his torso, which came from one of the minifigures from the Central Perk set. And then I also used this face print as well, which came from Ernie from the Night Bus, as well as this hairpiece, which is quite common. I will say with the face print, it was actually really hard to find the one that was actually accurate to what Stanley looked like. Obviously, I had to find one that had the mustache as well as the iconic glasses. And the closest one that I could find was this Ernie one from the Night Bus. But let me know in the comment section down below what face you personally would have used for Stanley, because personally I really struggled to find a face, and this is definitely the hardest figure out of the bunch that I have done in this video. And then lastly, I decided to recreate David Attenborough, the guy who voices all of the documentaries. So in order to recreate him, I gave him this blue suit as well as the Han Solo face and this hair from Obi-Wan Kenobi. And here we have David Attenborough. But there we go, everyone. With that being said, this is the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, then make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite celebrity I made was, and if you would like me to make any more. I'll talk to you guys soon. So peace out, see you later, and bye-bye.